So my name is Theresa and I work with Ministry of Environment, and I'm a Senior Policy Advisor in Extended Producer Responsibility Program.
Great. Can you tell us what path did you follow to achieve this position?
I had a rather random path. I'm not someone that has ever done very well with the 5-year or the 10-year plan. But I guess I came to environment specifically. I was doing my master's at UVic and was approached about a co-op job that they were looking for more applicants for. I wasn't a co-op student, and I put my name in for the application. I was finishing up my degree at the time, and sort of came in as a policy advisor and was actually hired because I knew nothing about policy, but demonstrated sort of, that I could think constructively and problem solve. And so that's what first brought me to government, and I've worked in quite a few different positions in government, being with community waste and extended producer responsibility for over 3 years, and I'm really happy in this position.
Great. What does your current position entail?
So my current position, I work in environmental protection under a group that works on community waste issues in general, or so managing everything from municipal liquid waste and solid waste. The program I work on specifically is industry product stewardship, or extended producer responsibility. We have a framework regulation called the recycling regulation, and as we add products, the producers of those products in British Columbia are required to develop entire life cycle management for those. So existing programs in BC are beverage containers, car tires, electronics, oil, paint, pharmaceuticals. So I work sort of on the leading edge of implementing new programs, so working with producers on sort of questions they have around program design prior to director approval. So I'm the lead for the expansion of the e-waste program in BC, and we're also working on packaging.
So if a student wants a position similar to yours, what courses and work experience do they need to acquire after they graduate?
That's a very interesting question. Extended producer responsibility is it's a somewhat new program. I guess it's been operating in BC. The recycling regulation was brought in 2004. The first diversion program, or the first EPR program for BC, was paints in 1994. But you won't see a university course on it. Actually, there's a journal that's specializing, and I don't recall the name of it, but on an EPR edition coming up that we're actually considering writing an article for. But I would say really a lot of what we do is, obviously there's educational requirements to the background. I think minimum is undergraduate degree with either a master's or 3 years equivalent work experience. But a lot of it is really sort of communications and a lot of problem solving and sort of coming to solutions for new programs in BC. So I think definitely to get into it, your bare minimum would be your degree. And I guess just sort of similar programs, anything consultation, any experience with consultation work, consultation programs, stakeholder outreach, engagement would be assets, I would say.
So what do you think are some of the misconceptions of working in government?
That government work is boring, maybe. I actually had one of my interviews prior today was discussing sort of the bureaucratic system in governments. Pardon me. Just being very bureaucratic or not hardworking, not getting stuff done behind the scenes. And it's funny because I think if you'd caught me when I was in the middle of my master's, I would have said that I would never work for government. That's definitely not me. I'm a doer. I come from a background of farm work and tree planting, and hard work is very much ingrained, and it's not a lazy culture at all. And I understand that cultures are probably quite different in different government buildings, but Ministry of Environment, there's definitely a lot of hardworking and forward-thinking staff, and it's definitely not a stagnant place to work. And I think give it a bit of time and you do see the results of your labor, and particularly with the regulation I work on, getting a product in that regulation means that for to the end of time, that product is diverted from landfills and put back into upstream recycling. So, yeah.
The last question, what are the benefits of working with government?
Some of the benefits, I guess, it probably really varies depending on what are benefits to you, because some people would talk probably about, extended health plans and pension plans, and those aren't benefits to me in my lifestyle. I come from a background in international development, and then geography, sort of climate change work in the Queen Charlotte Islands. And to me, one of the benefits of government has been, government's a very flexible employer. I've been able to take sort of time off between contracts as a co-op and auxiliary to travel. I was able to take off a 3-month unpaid leave to travel. I've actually participated with the Olympic Games Secretariat twice, doing secondments to work in Beijing for 2 months and then in Vancouver for 3 weeks. So I think if you work really hard in government, government's hands are tied in some ways, unlike the private sector when it comes to what they can allocate to salaries, for example. But government, I've really found that all of my employers in government have been very supportive of that work-life balance and pursuing a career while also, pursuing your other hobbies and ambitions. And I have some friends and siblings that work 60 and 80-hour work weeks, and for me, having time for my friends and playing sports in the evening is still really important in my life. And so I think really, government is a really quality employer if lifestyle is something that's really important to you. So, yeah.
Excellent, thank you. So that's the conclusion of our interview.